How do you decide whether an idea is good or not, whether it's valid or not? Often we've been taught that people that are educated are thought leaders and their ideas are worth listening to. Sometimes it's the bosses, they pay the bills, they know their things. But is that the best way to determine the value of an idea? If an idea is conveyed with smooth speech, is it better than a roughly spoken idea? All good questions, I think. G'day and welcome to Small Steps Through Life. Today we're at Battle Hill and I'm looking at the idea of how do you value and evaluate ideas. And I've been looking at it from the point of view of a new tool, a new way of looking at ideas to help get a better balance, getting more perspectives on ideas. I call it the Peter and Paul idea, or the Peter and Paul process. In the Bible, Peter was a fisherman, a bit rough, well, actually very rough, kind of like farmers. For me, I grew up on a farm and definitely learned the rougher side of life. Language, we could be very creative on the farm. But there's also Paul in the Bible, a very, very educated man. And so he represents a very different view on life. For me, that's more in alignment with the tech part of my research and studies, where I got to design hardware, write software, debug systems, and create end-to-end solutions. But neither position has all the authority. Paul may say some things that sound so amazing, or our intellectuals may say things that sound so plausible. Their speech is so smooth, it must be right. But maybe it's not. Maybe it's smooth speech conveying an idea that's incorrect. And so the idea of a Peter and Paul approach is Peter speaks plainly, he's very grounded. Can this idea work? Take any idea, distill it down to a sentence. Can you say it in a sentence? If you can't do the essence in a sentence, maybe you haven't defined it well enough. A good place to start. Define it as a sentence and make it plain speech. Make it understandable by everybody or anybody. Does it work? Does it look like it relates to the normal person? This may not work for ideas that are super intellectual, but for everyday ideas, ones that we are meant to adopt, this is a very good grounding. If it passes the Peter test, does it work? Does it make sense? Will it fit in a life? Okay, now you pass it on to the Paul analysis. Paul's going to look at it and say, is this idea logical? Does it hold up to scrutiny? How does it compare to other similar ideas? And if it passes both the grounded approach of Peter and the intellectual approach of Paul, now you can consider it's an idea that's been checked out and evaluated. Neither of them, neither criteria was based on that it appealed to the rough speech of Peter or the smooth speech of Paul. It was about, did it meet being grounded and did it meet intellectual rigor? Try this with your own ideas. Any idea. Like the idea of, does this podcast make sense? Look at any idea you like, apply the Peter and Paul approach, and you might find that you can get better ideas. Because every time an idea doesn't pass through one of those stages, make it short, one sentence. Make it apply from a grounded Peter point of view, from an intellectual Paul point of view. Every time it stops at any of those stages, you get the opportunity to refine it, make it better, make it more relatable. By the time it makes it through all those gates, you've got a much more robust idea. Give it a try with your own ideas. Look at people when they speak. Look at our government leaders. Look at your bosses. Do their ideas stand up to this simple approach, this multi-perspective approach? And if it doesn't, maybe it's time to refine them. Refine the ideas. See how far you can take them. And on that note, I'm going to say, see you later.